Good morning, good evening, wherever you may be watching this video. Unless you've been asleep or living under a rock, you've heard of the news of the largest liquidation event in crypto market history. An estimated $19 billion was erased from the crypto market cap in an instant. Now, this was all caused by a single tweet sent out by our president, Donald J. Trump, basically detailing that China was working to impose large scale export controls on rare earth metals. Now, for those that don't know, rare earth metals are used in everything important in life, whether it's medical devices, AI related use cases, GPUs, fighter jets, all types of things use some form of rare earth metal in their process or in their build. And with China essentially controlling 80% of the refinery process of rare earth metals, them implementing even more stringent or more aggressive export controls on rare earth metals obviously impacts every country that needs rare earth metals negatively. In this tweet, President Trump stated that the United States would respond with 100% increase in tariffs directly aimed at China as a result of China increasing their export controls on rare earth metals. This is what sent the entire markets, whether it was stocks or crypto, in complete free fall. So let's take a look at which platforms were impacted the most by these geopolitical conditions and see which platforms had some resiliency during this stress test, if you will. So, with that being said, let's get right into today's content. All right, so this is CoinGlass. This is a really good tool to have in your toolbox, and a good place to look when you see these mass liquidation events. When things were really in the thick of it, this is what I was looking at. You could kind of see people posted all over X, using this as their main means of really being able to see what's going on from a data perspective and not just, the doom and gloom news that was going on, which was important. But as you can see, things have chilled out a bit since Friday and into Saturday. So just in the past 24 hours, 181,293 traders were liquidated, and the total amount of liquidations are only at 610 million dollars, which is nowhere near $19 billion that we saw just a few days ago. What I really like about CoinGlass is that you can see which assets are experiencing the largest amounts of liquidation. So ETH, BTC, Sol, you see XRP is green, and several others are experiencing some liquidations on the liquidation heat map. You can even look at real time liquidations here for particular asset pairs. And then you can even see exchange liquidations. So Binance is leading the charge at 214 million, Bybit coming in second at 125 million. And then here, let me zoom in a little bit. And then Bybit second place, third place, Hyperliquid at 90.16 million, Gate.io coming in fourth place at 76.66 million. So definitely nowhere near as bad as it was just a few days ago. But like I said, this is a good tool to have in your toolbox so that you can really see what's going on and you're not just relying on headlines on X or influencers or people, content creators posting on X about the amount of liquidations or anything like that. So definitely add this to your toolbox. But I was able to find a screen grab of how bad the liquidation event actually was. So this is just comparing what happened a few days ago across the other major liquidation events that we had in the crypto market. So the COVID crash was $1.2 billion in liquidations. FTX was $1.6 billion in liquidations. And then this past weekend, that liquidation event amounted to $19.3 billion in liquidation. So that is the largest liquidation event in all of crypto history. That's massive. That's a lot of money. And I'm not saying that leverage is necessarily a bad thing. You can use leverage responsibly, and you can really use leverage to accumulate or add to your bags, especially if you use it responsibly. But If you don't use it responsibly, then yeah, you can definitely get liquidated. So I'll definitely have a video out on how I was able to survive this liquidation event, how I play defense when it comes to my DeFi strategy. Liquidation events don't happen often, but they happen enough to a point where defense should be automatic. It should be automatically part of our DeFi strategy, especially if you're not just, hodling and hoping for, or waiting, not necessarily hoping, but waiting for price appreciation for the assets that you do hold. So I'm kind of it still surprises me that people really full on go degen and not really have defense in mind. Now you can be a degen, but there's also a way to be a degen, a responsible degen. So that's what I like to call myself, a responsible degen. And I'll definitely have a video out later this week detailing what my strategy is on how I approach DeFi and make sure I have a contingency plan just in case things like this happen. So be sure you look out for that. Now, looking at the F asset protocol, this dashboard here really gives us some good insight on how the F asset protocol was able to kind of weather the storm and actually experience its first real world stress test. So I'm actually really happy to know that the F asset protocol was able to deal with these tumultuous times in the market. So you in the core vault, we have $49.42 million in XRP. The inflow of XRP has been 51.5 million. Outflow has only been I'll just say 2 million. And then of course in the community collateral pool, we have $16 million in Flare staked, as well as $6.97 million in USDT zero. And that is a healthy level of collateralization for the FSET protocol. I am happy to know that the FSET protocol was able to stand through this and didn't experience a liquidation event over on here as well. So that's going to be all the more important, especially as more assets come over to the Flare network and become F assets like FBTC, F Doge, and so on and so forth. So I mean, can't necessarily say the same for every protocol or every platform, but it's good to know that the FSET protocol was able to stand through these times. And with that being said, you got to be responsible. You got to always play defense. Just keep that in mind. Be a responsible DGen if you're out here using leverage, participating in DeFi in any kind of way. There's ways in which you can protect yourself when you are active with your assets. So don't let events like this necessarily scare you out of using your assets in a means to earn a yield or anything like that. There's just responsible ways to do that. So with that being said, I hope you guys like this video. I hope you found this video entertaining. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.